All right, so when we left off, we were on a little cliffhanger getting this error, and we did not run one little thing that I didn't think we needed to run, but I guess we do. So I'm going to terminate the batch job here, yes, and come back to, now notice this is still running, by the way, not on purpose, but it's still going to run because it's happening all at the client side. It's on the front end here. The servers stopped behind the scenes, and likewise, if I say npm start, maybe I should do this after it's running, it'll pull up a second window here. Now, if I were to close both these windows, but then go open it back up and go to localhost 3000, it's still waiting there to go pull that information in. And so it's still sitting out there. All right, let me Control C out of that and come back here. And then the command we didn't run that we ought to is npm install eslint. Sorry, eslint's all one word. Eslint hyphen config hyphen prettier space eslint hyphen plugin hyphen prettier, and then save dev. Now the save dev is the thing I thought was making it so it went across all projects, but I must be wrong on that. This is disabling ESLint rules that conflict with prettier. So we're going to save that development environment, and then try running again. So let me close out of here and npm start. And hopefully, yeah, no errors. We got a different error though. Now it's trying to enforce those rules, and if we just do a save all, so file, save all, then I think we may actually be able to run now. So Control C. Let's try it again. npm start. Minimize this so you can see the pretty picture. Oh no, you can't. Okay, now we get no errors. All right, so that was the last little step we needed to do to get that working. What next? Let's see. Well, just to review, so we go back into our source, or excuse me, our source folder, and in the source folder we have our index.tsx file, which is referring to this app tsx. Notice it doesn't have the extension on there. That it's translated by this little statement at the bottom. We're exporting the default app out, and that's what turns it into a little tag after we built this function. So app becomes a little tag that we then use in, not tag, but yeah, HTML tag, yeah. I'm second guessing myself now. That we use here in the to be able to render this stuff. All right, so okay, it's not like in that. If we save it, it'll add the little commas in. This is the trailing commas we were talking about. So back to the app tsx file. This is where we went in and just started messing around and doing different things. So let's take the same approach. Let's just review a couple things and see if we can make something happen here. So we can use functions, we can use classes, we can use them. We've used both. We can use them kind of interchangeably, just depending on what we want to do. So if I say function, and I just say let's put in here just a welcome, something super easy, function, and then opening brace, and this is going to return in this opening closing brace, and I'm just going to put in a little h1 tag. Hey, welcome to my site. Whenever I think of the word hey, I think of Uncle Si from Duck Dynasty. If you don't know who he is or what that show is, then you just need to go check out Uncle Si. One of the best characters on television. So good. Okay, Control S. I've got some errors in here. It's saying unexpected token. I obviously did something wrong here. Oh, it's not curly braces. It's parentheses. We're returning. Let's get that in there. All right, let's see if it likes that any better. It doesn't. No surprise. Nope, we save it and it does. So we saved it and it says nothing on the site because we deleted everything it was doing. But I've got this function, and if I hover over it, it says it's never used. And so I've got the function, but here inside the function, I never told it to do anything. And so this is where I can go throw in that element that I've just created, welcome. So I'm welcoming them to the site. I've got errors, but again, every time you get errors, just do a Control S to save. And there's the welcome that I put on the screen. And then maybe I'm going to put a little footer down here. So function footer. And I can put a little return statement in there and say in parentheses. Now notice it took my parentheses out on this because there's only one line, and so it's formatting it in what is set up to be a better way. If I have more than one line, let's see what happens here. So if I put in just a little, well, there's an actual footer. So footer and just say, come back, y'all. What's the statement? Come back. I can't think of it while I'm in the middle of recording. Come back, y'all. You here? What's the? I can't remember. Okay, let's put that in there. Control S. And it'll drop that on, but again, I didn't put it on my site. So now if I drop this in on the site, I can say drop my footer in there as well. And we can build the site one little element at a time. So Control S there, and then it's gonna say come back, y'all. Again, I'm trying to figure out, it was set up as a footer. Why is it not down in the foot? But that's not our problem right now, because I want to get something else in here. Let's put in another function, and they don't need to go in order. In fact, let me put it out of order just to prove this point. So I can put in another function, and this one I want to actually do something, and so I'm going to say content, I don't know what we want to call it, content, and I'm going to say in here return, but the return I'm going to do here is going to be to give you a random number. So I'm going to say p tag, here is a random number for you. Okay, and then we'll put in a little break, and then I'll give them a self-enclosed break, and then I'll put in a little random number. So we're just going to drop in here and say, let's do like a h3 tag and say math.random. Okay. So, and then I'm going to put this element into my form. So I'm going to put the content in the middle. Now again, it didn't need to be in order. Sorry, gotta start typing right. So these don't need to be in any particular order. It's how I call them here. I Control save that. And of course we're gonna get some errors because we always do. Let's see. Adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. And that is exactly right. We can't just have these tags floating out there. We've learned this already. And so this is as good a time as any to reintroduce this idea of the fragments. We can just drop in what we call a fragment, which is these opening and closing angle brackets without anything in them. And that works the same as a little div. We can drop that in there, and then it'll be much happier. Control save. And it says, here's a random number for you. But then it prints out math random. Well, why is that? Because if I want it to be interpreted, not just printed out literally, then it needs to go inside curly braces. So I'm going to put this inside curly braces to say, no, this is actually code to be interpreted. And now, if I save this, sorry, this one, now, as I refresh this site, it gives me a new random number each time. So that's being interpreted, and so that's just building a little site to mess around and refresh on a couple of things we talked about last time. But now that we've done that, let's actually go and look at some of the things that make React unique. Namely, props, hooks, and state. Spencer out.